What's up, guys? This is episode 2. We are still watching the Tennessee Kansas City Chiefs game. It is as this moment, it's 17-21. I don't know what's gonna happen at the end of it, but we watch it. We hear
things and stuff.
Things is going down.
It's going down.
So, man, we got a lot. We got a little bit to talk about today, man. We're gonna go over Meghan and Harry and Odell Beckham and what was the other one?
Bernie and
Elizabeth Warren, which is a mess.
A hot
damn mess. We didn't even have any thoughts, but the last time, but shit, fuck it. It doesn't matter. We don't have to have thoughts. We just gonna go into introductions, and I'm gonna let you rock. So, of course, I'm your host, Country Boy, whatever. You watched this enough. You've probably heard my voice a million times. I know I hate the sound of it. I never get used to the sound of my voice. People say you get used to it. I hate it every single time. Every single time. Anyway, to my right,
Professor Ryan, Wicked Thurman, dropping knowledge 24/7. Get
24.
with it, get gone.
24 karat magic in the air. So player.
I didn't know they turned to Masked Singer in this
no, right. Go ahead, bad guy.
I know. Look, I'm just here keeping y'all entertained.
You trying to, man. Being the contrarian. I thought that's why I brought Ryan on board. Turns out it's you. You the one.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you the one.
You the one. So what we about to talk about?
Oh, my dog getting on my nerves.
Wait, we pausing or no?
Yeah.
Whatever, man.
Got the
If you listening to this enough, you know my dog is my dog.
So we're gonna talk about Elizabeth and Bernie.
Yes. Talk about Elizabeth. Also recently, Elizabeth Warren mentioned that Bernie Sanders told her that a woman could never be president. Right?
That's what he allegedly said.
The only person who can verify that is her.
Elizabeth Warren.
Is her. One thing I would like to say before you get cranked up is that we have a habit here in this country of cannibalizing our Democratic candidates while letting people like Trump go, just like he could just be any kind of asshole.
Grab him by the pussy.
Yeah, grab him by the pussy. He grabbed him by the pussy, and then no one seems to give a fuck. But
single,
but even if Bernie Wood did say that, I mean, I don't give a fuck. I don't care enough for this to be a problem. I don't even care enough that if Elizabeth Warren made it up, it doesn't bother me all that much, because she's still. Even if this happened, she's still a better candidate than most of the Democratic field, and definitely a better candidate than Trump. Anyway, all I say, preface that by our resident legal analyst, political analyst. What do you think?
That basically she was sinking in the polls, and she just said something just to get herself some traction.
She is sinking in the polls
because basically her "I got a plan for everything" was found to be a credible thought, but she couldn't back it up. Because when you heard her plan for Medicare for all, it still left a lot of question marks, still wasn't explainable, and she didn't put forth any effort in trying to make it something that you could really stand behind. So with that being said, if I'm dropping in the polls, I will say just about anything to get back on top.
And she is. And she is. And her dropping the polls allowed for Bernie to pick up that slack, to pick up that gap. Those people left her and moved into Bernie.
So, I'm still, I know a little bit about politics now. Catch on some stuff here and there. Yeah. Who they polling?
I mean,
whoever will answer the phone. You got to actually answer your phone.
Here's the problem with polling.
So it's phone calls, right?
Yeah,
it's not necessarily phone calls. They try to do some online polling, and they try to do some other types of polling.
Those inherently unreliable.
But and so what they kind of try to do is they try to take a mixture of it all and kind of gel it into a number, and then they kind of massage the number to make it a little bit more credible. Mm-hmm. So the polling is way better than it was
used
back
to be.
when it was 2016 2012 and stuff like that. But it's still not as accurate as if you went out there and you asked the same number of people face to face.
And they're only asking, so what's it like, 1,000 people represent, so you ask 1,000 people and those people represent a certain percentage of the American populace. So I'm not asking you, but the idea is I ask someone like you, and that person will represent you.
Well, that's the way any polling on anything is really done. It's called random sampling, and supposedly a random sample is good enough as sampling everybody as a whole, because everybody has an equal enough chance of being picked,
being represented as well, right?
So that makes it credible.
No, I understand the concept of polling. I understand how it works, but what I'm telling you is, somehow, I'm out 35 years on this planet, which I probably only get 17, 16.
Nigga, you answer the phone though. Yeah. If they called you, would you answer the phone?
Yeah, I get the call from everybody on my cell phone. Just answer, because sometimes I be looking for a job, so you just answer the phone. You don't know who number that is, so you just be answering the phone. And never have I got to, hey,
you actually,
I got a couple questions to ask you about, such and such.
No, he was swiping it with his nose. It's what you do if you got gloves on your hand.
Oh, ew. I usually just let my thumb hang out.
Well, I mean, it works too. No, but
you make it.
But I understand what you're saying, that I haven't been reached out. But there are other things that go into it, because most likely if you get one call, you're more likely to get another call. And then you also got to look at who they're trying to sample. And right now they're really only sampling people in the early states, which is New Hampshire, Iowa,
South Carolina,
those types of places. And even then, there's still a chance that you won't get picked, because they may look at your voter registration and they can't find a way to connect your voter registration to a phone number.
Right.
No, my phone number definitely on there.
So what you're saying is nobody asked you.
I done had the same phone number for the last at least 10 years.
And because they ain't asked you, they about that bullshit.
They about that bullshit. Well, not just in general too, though, because when you be watching the polls and then when the actual numbers come out, they don't reflect the polls.
At least they didn't in 2016. Well, but I mean, they're supposed to be better than 2016.
They're better than 2016, but they're still not going to be as predictive, because again, like you said, their polls are still kind of selective about whom they
right. So that limits your accuracy, right?
But like not
if you constantly polling the same person that been answering the phone for the last 20 years.
But it's not. You
hadn't evolved.
But it's not going to be as inaccurate as 2016 was.
Like if somebody actually doing the work, I can see it being a blip, it giving you an idea of what's going on out there in the the environment. But sometimes I just don't think they're doing the work.
Yeah, they doing the work. I mean, they have multiple ways of getting these polls done. But again, there are 320 million people in America. They're only going to sample 1,000.
That's still a rough.
I mean, that's...
Even if you got a good variety of the populace.
Or even let's go smaller.
To pick up the phone. You get the right demographics from every region, and you taking that one person to represent 50,000 people. Yeah. You still asking a lot.
But that's the way sampling is done.
I understand it, and I understand
it's pretty accurate, because they also take into account those types of things. Now, if you're saying that it's not as credible because it doesn't pick different people than what were in the first poll.
Right. That, and then with the three of us sitting here, right, and we all live similar lives in a similar sphere. And we got three different ideas about who should be president. You see what I'm saying? So picking that one person to represent the three of us, because we are. I mean, that's
vicinity. Why they have a margin of error. That's why they have a margin.
What I'm saying is that margin is
bigger than what
we let on.
Okay, I get that. I can get behind that.
But we keep putting this poll out here, and people actually get behind it and follow it. Then you like, oh shit! But the poll said.
Well, that's why a lot of people hang around to Iowa. So, I mean, you see how they do in Iowa when the bullets are really flying. They say, okay, maybe I wasn't doing as poorly as I was polling or whatnot. Because, I mean, it's going to be some margin. There's going to be some margin of error. And a lot of guys, people poll better than that. I mean,
most people don't look at the margin of error. That's the problem, because typically in a poll, the margin of error could be plus or minus 3. So that means that if you're polling at 87, it could be anywhere from 84 to 90. Mm-hmm. Which is did I do that math right?
Yeah. You want 3 up, 3 down.
So so you could actually be closer to that 84, but all you thinking is the 87. And so if you talk about 87%, when you talk about like 1 million people, you're talking about some huge numbers. You know what I'm saying?
You got a dog? Your neighbor?
So.
Oh shit! Hang on. Hey, we'll be right back.
And he took off.
All right, we back. So I'm gonna use as an opportunity to transition to something else. So, national championship game.
It sucked.
Clemson versus LSU. It was rough. You know, I don't know if you know, we live in Charlotte. I live like right near South Carolina. Most of the people here are converted Gamecocks fans, now Clemson fans.
I'm still a State fan. I still like Mississippi State. I'm still wishing. Even though I know we ain't nowhere near it, I still be wishing.
Hey man, every single year it's one or two teams. I told Shante this the other day. Every single year it's maybe. It's the standards. It's the Alabamas, the Clemsons of the world, and then it's like another SEC team, either like LSU or Georgia, and then it's like one other team that's in that mix, whether it's Oregon, Oklahoma. That could be Mississippi State. It just depends.
Yeah, we ain't terrible. We used to be. We used to be terrible. Now we 50-50.
It could be that. You get your chance. Your chance could be coming.
We go a little over 500 this year.
No.
Okay, well then you know y'all
exactly 500.
No.
I think
we lost the final 2 games. No, we won the last game of the season, then we lost the bowl game.
Yeah, I ain't counting the bowl game. I don't think.
Oh,
that counts.
The
stats count.
It though, but when we like 9-6 or something,
we were 6-7.
Ow.
About 500.
Made a
that is not about 500. That's horrible in college football.
That's 507.
And then we lost the bowl game, made us like 6-8.
All right, so
yeah, we did lose them last 2. We did lose them last 2 bullshit games. We did.
No, we won, beat Ole Miss, but then we lost. We
supposed to beat Ole Miss.
The bowl game was
Ole Miss makes us 500 by comparison. Just by beating them, we 500.
Basically, that's the reason why Coach got fired, was because of what transpired, and one of the star quarterback ended up getting into an altercation after practice with the lineman, got poked in the eye and couldn't play in the game.
The fuck? What's going on? Y'all all right?
Hey man, he lost institutional control, so they gave him the boot.
That is a lack of institutional control.
They gave him the super axe.
So, I mean, honestly, say that one. If you just talk about the level of play, LSU. Oh my God,
they just was a better team.
LSU on offense had no real weaknesses. They had players that could play any type of game they wanted to play. If they wanted to do the option, they would have been good at the option. Joe Burrow was a good enough athlete that he could run, he could throw. They had a running back who could run. He could catch passes out of the backfield. They had wide receivers who were super talented. All you had to do was get the ball in their hands, and they run away from dudes. They had a tight end in Thaddeus Young who is like almost pretty much like a wide receiver. You know what I'm saying? We talked about Aaron Hernandez on the last one. That is Mouse. Sorry, I'm thinking about dude from that played in the NBA. That played for Georgia Tech. Now I think he played for Indiana. Thaddeus Young. Anyway, don't worry about it. Thaddeus Moss is like, we talked about Aaron Hernandez on the last one. He kind of like Aaron Hernandez, and then he like half tight end, half wide receiver. You know.
I think what the problem is that Clemson came out with a awesome game plan, which was to, these big boys up front, let's get them moving left to right, sideline to sideline, and eventually we'll make a play over the top. They did that for like the first 2 or 3 series, scored a touchdown and some field goals.
They went up, what, 17-0?
Yeah, they were up.
14.
And 14, what happened 14,
3? Something like that.
What happened was when they were up, that whole game plan of let's keep them going sideline to sideline, let's do this, got thrown out the window. And then you started saying, let's see if we can just run out the clock on them, right? Let's see if we can grind the game to a halt. But once you start trying to do that against LSU, it's an automatic loss because the LSU is way better at the ground game and grinding the game to a halt because they're used to doing it in the SEC.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, one thing I will give them credit for is that Burrow played excellent. I know that a lot of people are like dogging on Burrow, saying that he's kind of like Alex Smith or one of those guys where he's not really great at anything. He's only good at everything. He has no great elite talent. But watching him play, I mean, we're talking about a guy that had 13 touchdowns in the playoffs.
Yeah, 7 against.
He had 8.
Oklahoma, 8 against Oklahoma, and then he threw another 5 against.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm saying it's hard for you to say, oh, this guy,
right?
This guy is not good at any one thing, and I've seen him watching him dismantle, exceptionally good defenses at the highest level of college football, and you're like, well, he's not an elite talent. That's not what I'm seeing. I'm seeing him demolish guys.
He's an elite I feel like people talent.
It's the same as that polling shit we were just talking about. I feel like a lot of analysts get paid to say shit to try to take the value down a certain.
Well, one thing the analysts did say that made sense is that this ain't Joe Burrow's first rodeo. He played last year, and he wasn't very good last year until the bowl game. And this year he came in, he was gangbusters.
And not to mention that Joe Burrow did practice 3 years in Ohio State. Behind who is it? JT Barrett, Cardale.
Cardale Jones.
What's the other
and
guy?
the other guy?
Oh man,
was it Braxton?
Braxton. It was one more.
That's what I'm saying.
He was behind
everybody.
All those.
He was never
23 years old.
Yeah, he's like 23.
Here's the thing.
Bigger than everybody out there.
He is older than Lamar Jackson.
Yeah,
he older than Lamar Jackson, and we're talking about a guy who played for LSU last year, wasn't great. This year, he ascends to play better, but is that going to translate to the NFL?
And remember, he had the benefit of having the
right. Is it talent change?
What is it called?
LSU.
Oh man, they are talented, but they've always been pretty talented.
But they had the number 1 wide receiver, the guy who won. What is it? The Maxwell Award?
Yeah, is that Jackson? That was Jackson, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was Jefferson. I thought.
Yeah,
and then they had
Justin
the other
Jefferson
guy,
in it,
who was just as good as him, who didn't win the award just because the other guys, I think, scored more touchdowns than the other guy did. He had both of those guys, had a solid running game.
Yeah, Justin Jefferson.
Had a awesome offensive line. That's one of the reasons why I said LSU was one of the jobs, if anybody, college football jobs, I would take in a heartbeat because I really ain't got to do nothing but win the state of Louisiana in recruiting, and I will field probably the top 15 teams.
Here's your problem with that job. You got to beat Alabama. If you do not beat Alabama, you will not be at LSU very long.
What he's saying is just in terms of getting players.
Oh, no. In terms of recruiting, one of the things I don't like about being a college coach is that college coaches spend a lot of their time having to convince 16, 17, 18-year-olds that they need to come to their institution and come and play with them. They spend a lot of time convincing kids to come play.
Actually,
it's boring. It's bullshit, man.
Actually, your underlings do all that. Most of it. Like for instance, your assistant coaches, your all those people, they really do all the hands-on work, and they actually do most of the camps that they have because that's where the recruiting starts at. Mm-hmm. And they're the ones, and they also have scouts which go out and actually watch players in high school play every game.
Friday Night Lights.
So the head coach, he really just sits in the office and manages all the
tape that they bring back.
And then when a guy comes in, he comes in and kind of puts
he's excited. Look, coach, I found this guy. You don't want to get him. We got to go out there.
And the head coach, he basically co-signs it. And then when the guy comes in,
he come in icing.
He comes in and he shows them all the reasons why they should believe everything that the coaches taught them or told them. So, but I also say that remember, recruiting is also basically a numbers game statewide because in your state is where you really build your roster.
You better win your state
because of out of state.
Unless you're in Florida, unless you're in Florida, you have, it's hard to win Florida. But if you can win Florida, you're gonna be good as fuck. Well, them Southern Florida kids.
Well, see, that's the reason why the U was so good back in the '90s was because they were winning Southern Florida. Haven't won Southern Florida in a while. The reason why is because you had an uptick in some of the other schools like
State,
USF, all those kind
Florida.
of people.
You got a lot of competition.
And then you also have the guys from out of state coming in and cherry picking your athletes. So Florida is a different beast. But LSU, you could actually win the state of LSU just by being the only SEC school in the state. And you want to be on TV? Come to us. Go to any of them other schools. You'll never be on TV.
And you can go home. You go home. You can see your mama on a regular basis.
We might need to go home and. Well, I probably shouldn't say this on the thing, but we need to find a way to get rid of Ole Miss, so we can get all these athletes in one place.
I wanted to get rid of Ole Miss for the longest. It's never gonna happen, buddy.
On top of LSU being two things. LSU went to the White House, and it made me think that I remember when I used to be happy when teams used to go to the White House, and now when I see them at the White House, all I want to do is fucking frown.
I missed it. Was the president involved in this?
Yeah,
one?
they gave him a jersey. They gave him a Trump jersey.
They actually ate real food, not burgers.
They did. They were dancing and shit. It was
seemed like I seen some shit. Looked like they was having fun.
But see,
that's the most part. As long as they have some kind of fun.
But see, I always say,
would you go?
I would go.
As a kid, I think you go because you don't know nobody. Like, you just enjoying life. You just won a championship.
Here's my thing.
I would go now. It's the White House.
It's my thing.
Like,
how many opportunities do you have to go to the White House? Like, I feel like if you say I went to the White House and like which president? Trump. I mean, it's an asterisk. But nigga, you didn't go to the White House. I still went to the White House.
I was at the White House.
You can't schedule tours at the White House no more.
Not like that.
Not like that.
I thought they did. I thought the list was long as fuck.
But it's not. They not the way.
But you're not going into the Rose Garden. Yeah. You're not going through his office.
Yeah, you're not going to the West Wing and none of that. Yeah.
You basically, or you might see, you might pass through.
What are they doing?
West
How
Wing.
we know? What are they doing? Where are they going to get to go?
They get to go in the Lincoln bedroom and all that.
I think I saw them in the Oval Office.
They get to go to what's the other little place that it's like a little rotunda, which like only the president and dignitaries use. It's like they go to a lot of places that you're not going to see. I ain't really
realistic. I guess I ain't that nostalgic. I ain't that impressed by it, going to the White House in general. But that's like I said, I'm older. Like you'd have caught me when I was 16, 17 before I got to 35.
I mean. To me, it's still you went to the White House, and I mean, you could say, "Well, it's not anything."
Well, it don't matter. It don't matter if it was Obama there. That's what I'm saying. For me,
if Obama was there, I'd be screaming like a little girl.
Right. So even if Obama was there, I wouldn't leave to go to the inauguration or just to go to. For me though, that's just me.
Yeah.
In general.
And I'll be understanding.
But it's more important to other people.
To other people,
if I went to the White House with Obama, you couldn't tell me shit. You could not tell me shit. If I had a picture of me shaking Obama's hand, you couldn't tell me shit.
What is it? But in the grand scheme of things, what does it mean?
It means
I got to meet Obama.
Now what?
Okay.
After that,
of people our age, it is our equivalent of you meeting like Dr. King or something. You know what I'm saying? It's that equivalent. He is a living black icon, right?
I don't take nothing from these people or their reputation or their celebrity.
Like whatever you feel about him as a president,
I think it's a good person to aspire to meet, right?
Right.
Then what?
I mean, he just doesn't believe that anybody is any better than anybody else. Basically,
no. He's a great person. He's an inspirational. He's done some shit that ain't nobody else ever done before, right? He's the only black president ever,
right?
So meeting him is a boon. So you're like, okay, I met him, but when you say that, you like, I can't tell you shit now because you met him, right? Yeah. So what is it about meeting him that made me not be able to tell you shit? I can't tell Obama. I probably can't tell Obama shit, but because you met him, I can't tell you shit.
Because by proxy, because I met him, I am now better than you. I'm better than you. I'm better than you. You not see the picture?
No, when you come back, you still use Mike. When you left, you come back, Mike. Obama's still Obama. You know
I left Mike. I came back. Mike that met Obama. Did you not see the fucking picture?
And see, that's why I get lost at. Because to me, people still come back the same person. I appreciate you. I think you had a great experience. Maybe it changed your life.
Don't do it.
I understand what you're saying because if somebody told me I met one of the Real Housewives of Atlanta, I'd be like, I don't give.
But it made their day though, right?
Right, it made their day though, but I don't care. But for me, it's not about meeting Obama. For me, it's about going to the White House because I get to be a select few people who have went to the White House.
Yeah, in a select few, there's a lot of people who've been to the White House.
Yeah, but I got to be in the White House in the places where commoners don't get to go. And you can say, a lot of people that did that.
Yeah.
Yes. But when you talk about being one of 3,000 out of 308 20 million, that's different.
You're not even one out of 3,000.
Yes, you are. It's not that many people have actually been into those areas of the White House.
Shit.
It's not like
even when you,
it's not
so,
like it's
so
not like
you
you're gonna be like 10 million people
let me-
have done this.
So
It's
my
not
thing
like
is, so my
that.
thing is, you ain't even including staff that have been in there. You just include regular people.
But the staff don't really turn over that much.
No.
White House
How long?
Well,
when did the White House get built?
Since Trump's been there,
No, when did the White House
they
get
have a
built?
little bit more turnover. But typically, any post, like
No,
if you were
no.
an intern or you had a post at the White House, like even if you was a cook, you're not leaving the fucking White House. That's a good goddamn
It's a
gig.
good cush job. You're getting paid
Yeah,
well.
Yeah.
there's not that
But
much turnover.
the thing is, how long has the White House been there? When did we build the White House?
I mean, so like, what
It's at least been a couple
what
hundred
are you
years.
getting at?
What
Like,
it's way more than 3,000 people that have been in these rooms than what you're saying.
oh yeah, they work there, but not like visiting there.
But
Like if you're cleaning carpets, I mean,
but this is the same thing is
different.
they got that same prestige as you. I've been in this room
228
in the White
years
House.
old.
Right,
Okay.
and so in 220 some years, you think only 3,000 people have passed through these rooms?
of the that weren't cleaning them.
It don't matter if they was cleaning them, if they was fixing
cleaning
them, if they was
can't
because you say I
just
clean
means you
because
cleaned it. Well, yeah, you got to clean the White House.
But the thing is,
but I mean,
you
like,
gave this room prestige, right? And now I'm cleaning it.
has.
I visit this room on a
It's
regular
not the
basis.
same if you clean somewhere versus you
Hey
visit
Jay,
somewhere.
is it weird that I would want to take a shit in their toilets?
Right, so it's the same thing. It's like, you know what, this person cleans it. They get the shit down
I
on a
wonder how
regular
many people have
basis.
shit on this toilet.
Which one is
Any of the toilets, like even
president toilet,
like it don't matter. Like whatever toilet, find me a toilet. I want to take a shit in it because how many people have done this?
How many people took
I take a
shit in the
shit
White
in the
House?
toilet. I don't know, but I'm gonna be one of them. Even if it's like 10,000 people, I'm gonna be 10,000 and
out
one.
of 320 million people.
I like how y'all throw this. I like how y'all throw this number real low.
It's 10,000. How many people do you
It's
think?
228.
I don't know how many people it is, but I know
it's 228 years old.
Okay,
Not
that's
that
all
many
I know.
people have
I don't know how many people it's been, but I know you didn't do it.
Okay.
But the thing is, I don't aspire to do it. So how
Cool.
So
if you're saying-
it's like the Kanye song. What's a believer to a non-believer? What's a king to a duke? When you don't believe in it, you know what's a king to a god when you don't believe in God.
So basically what you're saying
being in the
is
1% doesn't mean anything.
So what you're saying is
not if 99% don't.
is me
aspire
taking a
to
shit in the
be-
White House don't do nothing for you.
So
If I don't aspire to
being
take a
in
shit at the White
1%
House,
don't mean nothing.
it only oppresses another person that wants to take a shit at the White House. Is what I'm saying, right? It only oppresses another person that want to do what you've done,
which
But-
is fine.
right? You see what I'm
But
saying?
you still in the 1%. So I mean, like you still in the 1%. I don't understand.
I'm in the one. I'm in the 1% of people that came over Mike's house today.
Yeah.
Man, that's not
Right. You know what? We moving. We moving.
I was just saying.
We moving on.
We try to make stuff
like
special that ain't really that special.
But like last time I checked, like ain't no dignitaries walking through Mike's house.
Sir Mike, the country boy.
It's like
I'm in the
So,
presence
Sir Mike of country.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, like hell, it's like if you went to the African American Museum at the Smithsonian. I mean, like you've done something that a majority of people haven't done. I mean, like
Well, a lot of people was there.
Man, he
that we
acting
went.
ass. He in here acting whole ass.
I mean-
Okay, so man, we're gonna transition and talk about another interesting thing that's happened. Of course, he white. Meghan and Harry. Meghan and Harry. What's going on, political analyst, sir? Okay, so before I let you get cranked up, because I know how you be. Basically, what has happened is that recently they renounced their throne.
yes. Not necessarily
Renounced
They
it.
took a step
They
back.
phrased it as if they took a
did.
step back.
She didn't have a throne. He renounced his though, right? He renounced his
No,
crown.
I think by
He gave up
proxy
his
that she got
No,
a crown. They're
she
the
became
Duke
the-
and Duchess
yes,
of Sussex,
somewhere.
so they're both.
Right. Right.
They got a royal
All right,
title.
They have a title.
Right. Okay.
She got it
you
by
can go there.
proxy.
I believe
She got
it
it
by
by
proxy.
proxy.
She
Yeah,
got a
by
by proxy title. It's
Yeah.
by proxy.
So,
But
Which is fine because still though, how
was
many
cool the way she did it.
duchesses?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know none. I don't know none. But what I will say is they strive for financial independence, and they were receiving. Prince Charles gives William and Harry roughly about $7 million a year. They split that equally between the two of them to take care of their affairs. Them renouncing their throne means as financial independence is that they forgo that money to go do what they're gonna do.
they had to stack some of that money before they made that decision.
they don't have to remember. First off, she's an actress.
Yeah, but
So,
I mean, but that's
at
a lot
any
of
point, at any
Was she
point in
good?
time, yeah, she was
She was
on.
good?
She was on some shows. I don't know if she
did.
makes $3 million a year,
She
but
spent 7 seasons on Suits. I mean, which is like
who the fuck has watched Suits? No, who has watched Suits before they knew who Meghan Markle was? That's what I want to know.
I did. I watched Suits.
You watched Suits?
Suits was one of the higher
She was
rated
on
ones.
Fringe, and I had no fucking idea till yesterday.
She did a movie too. I can't remember what the name of the movie is.
So
but
she
like,
she had a little money before she started hanging with
She
her.
had enough.
A little bread.
She got enough clout.
She had
to
enough
where-
money
That
to
got
where
her in
she could
contact
have been
with him.
at a place where she would have met the
Him.
Prince Harry.
Right.
And she has enough clout to where now she
She can
doesn't
still go
have
back
to
and
work.
work. She can go back and do working now.
Yeah, so if she wanted to, she doesn't even have to go back
I
to
think-
acting. She could go be head of some flipping charity.
I think they
somewhere
mentioned that they don't
and would
like.
make enough money to be able to live the still nice life that she has.
I think they mentioned that they don't like the royals to have full-time job. Now, here's the thing about being royalty. There are members of royalty who are like outside extended family but still have a title who ain't getting paid a fucking thing. They work regular ass jobs. You know what I'm saying? Like you could be a prince, princess, or prince, and if you ain't in that direct line,
I don't think you got that title though.
You ain't.
I think if once you eschew the title of prince or princess,
I mean, it mentions
you get
here
paid.
that both.
I think it's when you lower in the court than prince.
Yeah,
or
No,
princess.
it mentions here both. Notably, both Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugene currently have full-time
Wow.
jobs. They got full-time jobs.
Who are these people?
I don't know.
How
nigga.
are you a
This
princess?
is
Are you a bastard?
This is UK shit, man. I don't understand it.
Like you gotta
it
be
don't
a
make
bastard,
sense to
right?
me.
You can't be in a direct descendant.
I don't understand this shit. It don't make sense to me. It don't make sense to me.
royal-
Like I don't understand royal
If you
hierarchy.
basically this is a 15th century type of no matter of fact it goes back further than that. This is some dark ages type of
Well,
bullshit that
I
we have
understand a
constructed.
lot of,
so in our modern day minds,
Well,
some
I'm
of
thinking
us can't
I'm
comprehend
thinking
it.
in that term because I've been reading a lot of books from that age, right? That
Right.
talk about the court and all the positions. And the one thing I ain't never
Game of
heard
Thrones
of.
don't fucking count.
No, it ain't even Game of Thrones. It's just
I'm
random
fucking
books
with
that
you,
people
man.
write that base
Harry
it
Potter
off.
don't count either.
That base it off their court life, right? From down to the courtiers back up to the king and queen.
Well,
Shit.
see, if your
It's over.
uncle, well, see, basically what it is if your uncle is in line for the throne somehow, you can get the title of prince,
I guess.
and so that means that your kids would have the same titles. So it's one of those types of situations.
I feel okay.
The queen
I
that
feel
lived
bad.
too long and ain't allowed succession to keep going.
Right. So those people keep those titles of prince and princess and all that kind of stuff because
I'm gonna tell you something.
People
If it
ain't
were
dying
me,
fast enough for
I'm
it,
not renouncing my title. Like I'm not giving up the money either. Like I feel like I ain't gotta fuck. I feel like I shouldn't have to fuck with you, but I need to still keep my money. You
Well,
know what I'm saying?
see-
I need to keep the money.
Well,
Well,
you
see,
got there's rules to this shit. Right?
mean-
Once you start stepping outside these rules, they gonna cut your ass out.
He said outside these rules when he married a half black chick. They were never going to accept you. I mean, the whole idea of royalty is that they're exclusive, that we different from you, that we're better than you. The fact that you ever thought they were going to accept you was some bullshit. They were never going to accept you. You ain't one of us.
But
You're
the
not.
fact that you knew it was bound to happen when it's so many other houses, where they used to have these ducal houses and courts where you can pick your bride from to keep that line of royalty together with all them falling apart and you being the last house.
And one of the
your people have to step out.
motherfuckers is your distant cousin. They
Right.
like your third cousin once removed or some shit. Like
And you
That's
can't
the
do that.
that's the reason why they crazy now.
and that's the reason why a lot of them are inbred. Them some
Yeah.
inbred mofos. That's why they be having all kinds of health issues and be out. Well, back then, now it's kind of a little bit different.
Yeah,
But
well, they
it's
can
still-
marry. They not forced to marry royalty these days. They can marry.
Right. So
I mean, you want somebody who is of the upper crust of society, but they don't necessarily have to have a
proper
title,
bloodline.
huh?
What they think has a proper bloodline.
Now you just got to be white and not white trash.
So you just saying what I said, not so pretty.
Yeah, basically,
He just
like
he just want to be crude with it. That's all. He just want to be crude.
they were worried that they were going to give a tell-all interview and that the royal family would look sexist and racist. And I was like,
But we know
what
you
if I
won't.
felt that way already? Like I already know you treated her poorly because I can see it. I can already
You see all the teeth sucking going on, right?
who the fuck is this? I already know when he brought her in there, who the fuck is this bitch? Immediately. I know that's how you felt. So the fact that you're telling me that they've been, you know what? I almost feel like Meghan should have expected this. Like you had to know. You had to not know. You had to expect they were going to be like this. You had to.
I guess she thought that people would have some type of sense about themselves because they're royalty, not understanding that royalty is the worst of us. It's the worst of us.
It's the worst of us. Yeah,
it's the worst of us. Because otherwise, you wouldn't be royalty.
Right.
You'd be just like everybody else.
Because you will see how stupid this institution is, and you will be like, you know what? I'm going to discontinue this stupid ass institution and move forward with something else.
Well, people, like I said, we got the same problem here. People ain't letting go of power. Once you got it, that's a struggle to get that power away from them.
Because one of the funniest things about anytime you when the queen has her meals or state dinners or whatever they call them, do you know that when she finished eating, everybody has to be finished eating?
Mm-hmm.
Just like that?
Something like that. Yeah,
so
it's
like
a bunch of rules.
When she put her spoon down and she's done, everybody's done.
I mean, she is pretty old. I gotta think she eating she's taking a while.
No, this is regardless of how old she is.
But this.
No, I mean, I'm just saying, like, I gotta imagine she's taking a long time to eat.
Well, the thing is, even from back then, they teach you a certain sensible time of eating. So once she's gonna take her a certain amount of scoops and still look. If she in a good mood,
if she wants to, but your meal is still at the whim of this bitch,
right?
I also feel like we need to make it clear that they figureheads, that they don't have any actual true power. Political power
outside of money.
Outside of money. Now they do. They are
shaping public opinion.
Public opinion, and they are extremely rich. I think her fortune. The Queen's fortune is valued at $88 billion. So that little $3 million they get in a year, that's a drop in the bucket. What the real money?
And that's just his stipend, really.
Yeah, that's his part that he could give you. The Queen has got, because I think they're invested in a lot of real estate and a portfolio, and of course they generate a certain amount of income, and they're also given money by the state.
And they flip their money weird.
Yeah, they flipping that money.
I mean, they ain't got nothing else to do. They ain't got nothing to spend it on.
And honestly, and this is just a question I had when he renounced his crown. What the fuck are you doing? What are you renouncing other than the money? Like, I see there are public appearances, but like
the title.
What job did you have to do? Well, you're like, man, I'm sick of this.
The thing is, like, when you keep that title, you retain that title, and you say, I'm gonna be Prince Harry. It's rules of that shit. He has to act a certain way, have a certain demeanor out in public, or you fall victim to.
He can't do everything that he needs
want to do.
Right.
So, like you said, now you're free. You're no longer under the scrutiny of your family,
and they don't have to live. They don't have to live there. They're going to spend some time in Canada, which is a better jumping off spot for Meghan, because she's from the States. She's also in the process of becoming a British citizen.
She also is big on philanthropy.
Oh, really?
Yes, she was, before she even became the Duchess of Essex or whatever she is, she was actually like, she won like some award for like Woman of the Year or some shit like that.
They also make public opinions.
So like, she gets to support a lot of charities that you don't have to go to the Queen and ask permission to support. Like everything
it's like being a part of Nike. You have Nike brand. You can't be really caught out here wearing Adidas shit.
Right.
Oh yeah,
and you got to ask permission to do just about everything that you want to do.
Because whatever you do reflects Nike.
I don't know what they're gonna do. Like they I want financial independence. I'm like, doing what? Like, I know she's an actor, but what is he qualified to do?
Well, realistically, he probably got banked maybe $100 million just from drawing his stipend over these past years. So they had to talk about it. Looked at the account and said, you know what? We can renounce these titles. We got $100 million. We really can't spend this shit before we leave, and we're gonna be doing other stuff to get money now. We good. We just need to renounce these titles, separate ourselves from the crown, so we can do whatever we want to do.
Because think about it. If he was banking $5 or $6 million a year, you said
they had 6.5, but he had to split it between his brother.
Oh, so he gets banked $3 million a year?
Yeah, roughly.
How old is
he?
3
plus. Oh man,
he like 30-something.
He got to be 30-something.
For the last 20 years or so.
Well, they probably been giving it to him since birth. Just couldn't spend it. They
Yeah.
probably had an
You
account
think
with his
they
name on
really-
it from. So yeah, you
So
He
royalty.
35. Y'all the
So
same
they
age.
opened, yeah, so they opened an account with his name on it, start putting money in there.
So
His yearly
So
stipend.
yeah, so that's about $100 million.
And when you go places, you probably ain't spending no money. Just because you there, they probably want the entertainment.
Wow. While we're talking about it, he had a statement talking about he didn't have a choice. That he felt like he didn't. This is the way. This is the only way.
Yeah, we think about we all married. Think about going home to your wife angry every fucking day. At some point, you decided if I want this to work, I got to make a decision.
No. His not just her angry. She mad at your family members.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So let's say
and you know they acting the fool because you the only one that's level-headed.
Your mama ugly to your wife, and now you like.
And you level-headed. You thinking like this is what you really acting ugly with my wife about?
Yeah,
her race.
exactly.
Wait, is that even her mom? His mom? Because the
Well, his
queen is
grandma.
like his grandma. It's like
Grandma.
yeah,
Yeah,
so
like his
like.
grandma.
But you know, but you got grandma and you got all the people in the house that's under her.
Well, yeah,
got
they
to follow
all
her
gonna act
lead.
the same way.
So you like this is what y'all really acting ugly about?
And-
like we really just humans. What's the problem?
Oh, and like I said before, some of the arbitrary rules that
Yeah,
you
it's
gotta
like you know
live by.
what? It's 2020. We tired of this shit. You know what? We out.
But that's the statement that some people who are looking at this from their perspective have said is that like, what's wrong with getting rid of this archaic emblem of power called the crown and royalty in this day and age where like we know better. You know what I'm saying?
You know what's amazing to me is how fascinated Americans are by British royalty. Like not just when Harry and Meghan, but Prince
Diana?
William and Kate.
Diana?
Nah, his brother.
Oh, Kate Middleton?
Yeah, when they got married, people were like super fascinated by just that, and I'm like, on a regular basis, I'm like, I don't fucking care.
Not to mention
that has nothing
not
to
to mention
do with
that.
us.
Remember when Princess Diana died?
Yeah.
And her funeral was all on TV, and how many people were like all like in a tizzy watching the funeral.
Yeah.
And you're like, she died. I got no qualms with it, got no beef. You know, I say my condolences, but I'm not finna sit here and watch your 7-hour funeral. Her funeral was
It was long.
Who the hell go sit through a 7-hour funeral?
Somebody
I got
just had a long
I got 2
funeral. It
hours
was some
of attention
American,
span.
right? They just had a long ass funeral. Some popular singer, I believe. Who gospel singer just died?
I don't know.
Maybe a
I
year
feel
or
like
two
I know what
ago.
you're talking about, but I cannot remember who her name. And I don't want to name somebody.
Yeah, that's alive. Yeah. I was going to say something.
Oh yeah, I think it was Kirk Franklin funeral.
Exactly.
Oops.
Anita Baker died. I don't know what's going on. I'm sorry.
I thought he was dead, but no, it's. But
Who is what you call portraying in her new movie? LaToya Luckett? Is it the person that didn't win American Idol when Fantasia won?
That's interesting.
I know.
I don't know about that one.
I can't.
The second
spell.
place
But
person.
LaToya Luckett sounds
Not LaToya,
familiar.
it's LaToya.
She was. She's from what's the name? LaToya Luckett.
Who's the
from-
one in the Dream Girls? Who's the other? Who played in Dream Girls?
Jennifer Hudson?
Jennifer Hudson. Jennifer Hudson playing somebody right now.
Boy, when I tell you, not even in the same universe.
Yeah. Yeah, Jennifer Hudson is about to act out some singer.
Aretha Franklin.
Is it? I don't want to say nothing. I don't know. Is Aretha dead? I ain't think. Is it?
No, I don't think Aretha did.
Yeah, she's supposed to be in RESPECT.
Yeah, that's who I thought had passed away, but I guess it didn't. It was not. I guess it's not a.
Aretha Franklin.
Yeah, she died. She died in 2018.
Recently, right? Yeah, it's okay. And her funeral,
Okay, I thought it was Aretha Franklin, but I wasn't sure she wasn't still alive. I was like, let me not kill people.
But her funeral was long, wasn't it?
It probably was.
I think it was. I think I remember that it being like exceptionally long.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I remember
Everybody was singing.
Yeah, because every A-lister got to get up and sing a song and say a tribute.
I remember Harry and Meghan's wedding was like, it was pretty long too.
Yeah, we watched that on TV. I watched pieces. Like,
he had to get up at the crack.
I was at work and it was still on.
Yeah,
break. I was
I got up and I'm like, I'm watching it, and I was like, oh, okay. And I came back, like, I'm still watching it. Nigga, it's been about 3 hours.
Yeah. So they had rolled from counter to counter and stage coaches and shit.
Yeah.
I didn't even watch this stuff.
I said,
for me, I know who they are, but as far as me participating in this travesty, I'm not done. Like how you feel about sitting on the White House toilet. That's how I feel.
That's exactly how you feel about sitting in the White House toilet. It's exactly how I feel about British George. You could give a fuck.
I was just interested to see how this was gonna play out with her being part black. Like the whole time, I just
what's crazy about her being part black,
and
and when I tell you she white passing in the motherfucker, but we don't care because we pick her up like we claim her like a Mariah Carey because black folks is heavily invested in this whole Prince Harry and Meghan thing, and I'm like,
well, it's part of the same. It was, I think, it was the same, almost in the same vein as the Barack thing. You just want to see some difference in this line that's been going so long. So when she got in, it was like, it was like, we in there now. Now it's gonna be.
Are we in there?
And we trying to figure out.
She just gave it all up.
We trying to figure out, how can she get the crown, bro? How many people got to die for her to get the crown?
Well, you just get close enough. Can one of her kids end up being the king or the queen?
So you mean to tell me if 10 people die, then it kind of like
10 motherfuckers get the strep throat at the same time.
Kind of like how Nancy Pelosi could be president. If these people all died, then Nancy Pelosi gets to be president.
Now you got a black queen.
Far. She ain't that far.
No, she died, but you would have to kill Trump, Pence.
One other person. Is she fourth?
That's it.
Yeah, she fourth or she third?
She third.
Oh, okay, so I'm saying she really not that far.
You kill Trump and Pence, it automatically becomes
when we say kill, we mean hypothetically.
No, the leader of the House, I thought, became it before the leader of the Senate.
I think she's third. Yeah. I think she's third in line.
And we're talking hypothetically.
Hypothetically,
don't show up in my house.
I ain't killing nobody.
Don't come to my house. I don't know nothing. But if you want to know something, I'll tell you whatever you want to know, as long as you get the hell out of my house. As long as you please leave my house. So, man, we've been talking for Chicago 46 minutes. Oh. Does any of you guys have?
Yep, she third.
She's third in line?
Yep. President, Vice President, Speaker of the House.
See, she's not that far away from being...
President Pro Temp of the Senate. That's Chuck Grassley.
Oh, wow. That's kind of dope being third in line. I'll be looking at them niggas sideways like...
Then fourth is Secretary of State Mike Pompeo. Wow.
That's not terrifying at all.
Even better, number 5, Secretary of the Treasury Steve Mnuchin.
Oh. We are doomed.
Oh, number 7, William Barr.
We are fucking doomed. That's a thing. Why is that a thing?
Oh, that's just a line of succession. After that, I mean, like, it goes like...
That's terrifying.
It's like goes like long.
So what do we got to do to get what's the dude that's over the house for the kids? No, the house for... What's the black dude, the neurosurgeon? What's his name?
Oh, you talking about Ben Carson, 13, Secretary of Housing.
13? Do you know how long you had to...
13.
Like, because ain't none of these niggas in the same place at the same time ever. Like, it would have to be a coordinated thing. That's not easy at all.
It would have to be like it was done on the show. What's the name of the show with Keith Sutherland?
Yeah, the show with Keith
Designated Survivor.
Yeah.
Basically, you would have to blow up the house at the Capitol during the State of the Union. That's the only way it could be done. And even then, there still would be that one designated survivor,
somebody's not there.
And he would take over. But also remember in that movie, in that show, they killed like pretty much the whole entire government. So you would have to have elections for everything.
And
that's when the aldermen take over.
Who would want to do that?
No, you wouldn't have to have elections for everything. All the governors would have to appoint people.
Oh, that's bad. That's bad.
So you would have to appoint. So basically, the governors would all appoint House of Representatives and 2 senators, and then next go around we would have the elections.
Why do you know these things?
Why not? No. You watch the show, you learn.
No, I definitely didn't watch no damn Designated Survivor. It looked like some like.
The first season was pretty good. The second season was okay. By the third season, it was pretty much over.
All right. I guess we'll just go over general thoughts since we had 48 minutes. And do you guys have any general thoughts? Anything? Okay, let me ask you this: we went to go see Bad Boys for Life. What was your thoughts on Bad Boys for Life? Exactly. Jay says I kind of know what he thinks. What do you think?
It was a pretty good movie. I mean, I enjoyed it. It was funny. It was across the board. So I mean, I didn't. I guess I can't tell y'all because it's new. I don't know when we putting this out. Dude, I totally put this out.
It don't matter. It don't matter. If
yeah,
you hear, hey, spoilers. We about to spoil it all.
I didn't expect the captain to die. That's the only person that kind of that threw me off guard.
I was surprised by how dark it was. I was thoroughly impressed by how dark it was. I thought the show was much better than its shitty release date. Like, usually January is release. Yeah, the movie of January is a movie graveyard. You dump your bad movies in January. You dump the movies that you don't know what to do
January
with.
and October.
Yeah, January and October. So when I found out it had a January release date, I was like, oh God, this movie must be fucking horrible.
I'll tell you what was really good, because I done seen maybe 8. I think I counted 8 different trailers. Mm-hmm. And I think 3 or 4 of them was missing from the movie.
Really? See, I like that.
Yeah.
I also like that they weren't afraid to have you really, really worry about one of the main characters. Like, it was Harry for a moment. We were like, word, that's what we doing. That's what we doing.
Yeah,
it was. I would say the movie was interesting, and it was slightly more in the realms of realistic than the first two.
Yeah. Yes.
Because some of the stuff they did in the first two, you kind of had to suspend belief in order to roll with it. But you was cool with it because it was Martin Lawrence. He was being funny and everything like that. But besides that, the movie was average at best.
I thought the movie was much better than I expected. I had really low expectations going in that it was going to be trash, and because of that, it far exceeded that for me. So I came away. It was funny. It was entertaining, and in my mind, it's the best movie of the series.
I can't wait. I can't wait to see this on TV on a regular basis.
Yeah, I didn't really like the first 2 movies. Bad Boy. I thought they were funny, but I thought they were stupid. You know what I'm saying? I thought this one was much more
the one with Gabrielle Union was a little better.
Dark.
No, I like the first one better than I like the second one. The second one got too far into stupid land.
Why you say that? You talking about the one with Gabrielle Union?
Yeah,
where they
got too far into stupid land.
What was stupid about this? Because I felt like that one was more simple than the first one.
The whole going to Cuba is stupid.
Yeah. But the boss was from Cuba.
You could not have gone to Cuba. You could not have gone to Cuba.
But did you see how they got to Cuba? Right? You ain't got but one way, right? You telling me you gonna go to Cuba and go snatch up a dude? That felt really stupid. You said they snatched him up?
Well, they went down there and killed him. They
right.
down to do an operation.
But you see how they got there, right? You drop you off at a boat and you take that boat on into Cuba. You in Miami already, right? So you just get on a helicopter.
The same thing that happened to him in Mexico City, the same way it happened in Cuba. If you died in Cuba, they were going, I got
no qualms with them going to Cuba. No, don't care going to Cuba. Right. It's fine. That's not the qualm. But my whole thing is what they did once they got to Cuba.
You mean tunnel into the dude's house?
All of that.
Shooting the house up?
All of that. Okay. Once they
but
got
that made
Cuba,
more sense than just
they about to fuck around and start a whole international incident. They're about to start a whole international incident.
And especially considering that he was supposed to be heavily guarded by the Cuban military.
They showed up, right?
Get out of here.
I'm 100% with you. It was a little extravagant about how y'all riding up out of here in a Hummer, dodging all these bullets, and only one dude got shot.
And then you're going to ride down a whole flotilla of houses down. And then
it was definitely over the top.
And then my favorite part was you pull up to the Bay of Pigs.
To the base, yeah.
At Guantanamo
Bay.
And you ain't instantly dead.
Nah,
they didn't have to. They got that. You know what? John ass.
I'll be honest with you. So now that's if they pulled up to the police bay, they'd have been shot. But that's a military installation.
Nah, they still do the same thing.
No.
Fire
off. They didn't have to.
This I know personally.
They didn't have to. They had that John ass minefield. That minefield was I want to see what the fuck gonna happen. I'm not to shoot you.
They were shooting guns though. That's where our part was. They were firing. If they had just rolled up there and like you said, just cool.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
They were exchanging fire.
They fire guns right beside the base all day long.
That's Iraq, though.
It ain't what I'm telling you is from what listen to what I'm telling you from. It's not from base to base.
It's totally different.
You been there. It's training. If you're not in imminent danger, you don't fire.
Yes, if somebody is firing weapons, you start firing back, especially if their weapons are coming towards you.
You don't.
Yes, you don't. Well, I don't know what military you went through. When I went through, somebody firing weapons.
I also had
they didn't roll up on and attack one.
Yes, they did. They didn't roll up. Rolling up to their base firing. The guy not firing weapons.
While you guys are talking about this, I had a guy on Instagram tell me to thank you guys for your service. I told him that I was not in the service. I was a member of the No Limit
But we just being real. They didn't attack the Guantanamo Bay, right? They didn't assault. And when they rolled up, they got
Guantanamo Bay for it to be assumed that you were attacking.
See, now you acting like the police when you assume shit. We don't act like that in the military.
They were firing weapons around a military base
at each other.
That is typically
at each other.
That is not known
when they
for
rolled
people
up.
coming through firing
When they rolled up,
weapons
didn't they shoot their engines?
Yeah. Somebody got the engine blocked.
They stopped it.
Somebody got the engine blocked.
Okay, but so they're gonna. So
you stop the vehicle, and then you assess the situation.
Okay,
because you no longer a threat out there in that vehicle to this wall. You got to get across these landmines and all kind of other shit. So we just like, all right, what they doing? Oh, they out there shooting a 9mm. You got a 9mm. He got a 9mm. I got a 249, 800 rounds a minute, and I'm worried about you.
Super outlandish. Still outlandish.
You get ready to get that shit. Get out the way, ref.
Ref in the way.
Yeah, he in the way. All right, so wow. I can't believe y'all got an argument about that. One.
Because that's not the most outlandish part of the movie.
No, the most outlandish. The most outlandish part of the movie
is the fact that the most outlandish when they running through that village and jumping through houses and crack houses blowing up. That's the most outlandish part of the movie.
I said the whole.
That little Guantanamo Bay scene is simple. I've seen that happen in real life.
The most outlandish part yesterday was him jumping off that trailer onto the helicopter road.
He almost missed. It looked like he almost missed.
Not only did he almost miss, but you gonna be sending ass hairs. Like that shit was real close.
Oh, you talking when he was hanging over?
Huh?
Talking when he was hanging over the fire?
No, but right when he jumps onto that as the explosion is coming, because he shoots the gas tanks on the 18-wheeler, and he jumps on the way. He jumps on top of the 18-wheeler to catch the ladder.
I thought the ladder was over the water though.
Blowing up as he's running.
He was over a bridge. He's over the bridge at first, and then he running and he catches it, and it's like blowing up behind him.
Yeah.
And then they kind of.
Not to mention the other part that was outlandish was when the man shot the car and it exploded off the back of the truck.
Right, I thought he was trying to shoot the chains and he was gonna let the car go and it was gonna roll off.
That would have made more sense than the first
thing I said when he did that. He was like,
they got gas in the car, don't they?
He rolled by that bitch and just like do, and it exploded. I'm like, that's not the way cars work. That ain't not
I just knew he was trying to shoot the chains.
Right, I just knew the car was finna come off that back of that truck and it was gonna roll over a couple people. Right.
What I did enjoy is the stunts done by the kids on the dirt bikes. They were really good. Like, I can't imagine. It's almost like, it's super not realistic, but the idea of them riding down the street, busting a wheelie while shooting a Uzi at you visually looks cool. It's not realistic. It's not practical, but it looked dope. I like that.
I mean, but if you're in a gunfight, that's the way you want to shoot it, right?
Right, that's the way
because you got cover, right? You got cover. You got the motorcycle up.
But the final sequence of the movie when they were fighting in that abandoned hotel was like as a visual action sequence was probably one of the best action sequences I've seen in a while. She had that one where she was standing on the ground floor and they turned it sideways because there was a guy on the second level and she was shooting above the floor. I was like, yo, that's fucking dope as shit. And a lot
he got snatched down from one floor to another floor too.
Yeah, he got snatched down from one floor to another floor. That was dope. The action sequences early on in the movie where his son stabbed all those guys was very jump.
Sorry, spoiling movies.
I mean, we already said there's gonna be spoilers. I mean, the movie is pretty much. Have you seen Gemini Man? Have you got any?
Yeah, it
is very. This movie is very Gemini Man, and it's weird to me that Will Smith did both of these movies, considering how close they were in plot. You know what I'm saying? Because basically, in Gemini Man, it's a clone of himself trying to kill him, right?
But I knew what it was about.
And in this movie,
it's a clone of himself.
It's a clone of himself trying to kill him. Like,
so it feel like this should have been the way Gemini Man should have been.
Exactly. This is the movie Gemini Man should have been.
Him doing both. I didn't like that idea.
Because in my opinion, Gemini Man. If you watch the first half of Gemini Man, you like that shit is dope. The second half of Gemini Man, you like I want to kill myself.
The biggest problem with Gemini Man for me, and this is the same problem I had with the Irishman, is that the de-aging effects were stupid. Like in the Irishman, I'm supposed to believe that a 70-year-old Robert De Niro is playing a 30-year-old man, and it's horrible. I don't know how old you are. I cannot tell what age you are. It makes no fucking sense. And in Gemini Man, instead of just taking his face and de-aging him, they made a whole CGI person. So he has no weight. So he does things that people can't do because he doesn't have any fucking weight to him. You see what I'm saying? Right. And in certain parts of the movie, you'll see it, you're like, I think that don't make sense. That's stupid.
The part that didn't make sense to me and Gemini Man was is the same thing that happened in Bad Boys, which is that like the guy who was trying to kill Will Smith just flips a switch and is just no longer willing to do that anymore. Yeah, like there's no like. It's just a flip of a switch.
Well, I felt like his son. Though, it wasn't a little switch though. It was a big switch though.
I feel like somebody his son.
Say, "I'm your dad," and you probably been having these these notions your whole life anyway. Who is my dad? Then this dude just rolled up and you've been looking at him like, "I'm your dad."
You know what's weird about the movie and him being his dad is that the whole movie, I thought he was like a regular ass Mexican. As soon as he said he was his dad, I was like, I knew you had. I can see it. I know you had a little chocolate in you. I can see it. You had that part on the side
and his little
and that blend and that beard. You're like, okay, I can see it. I can see
it. But no, because I like Gemini Man because it had some good fight sequences in it, and some of the stuff that Will Smith did. You know, you was kind of like, okay, that's dope.
Yeah.
But like I said before, then you got the back half of the movie and it gets
also
wonky.
As Martin Lawrence as a comic relief, like so Will was almost a straight guy and they let Martin get all of the quality lines. You know what I'm saying? As far as comedy. So all of the jokes Martin was delivering them because he couldn't really do any of the action sequences. He kind of fat and he kind of slow.
But I feel like that was his role in the movie.
Yeah, so like
the guy that's supposed to be retired.
When the guy, when his son is running from him in Miami from that hotel after kicking Will Smith's ass, he jumps down and they roll off of that joint. And he gets up and is running towards his bike, and Martin's like. Gets up like an old man and grabs him. He's like, kicks him. Get your ass off me. Get the fuck off me. I was like, oh, wow. But that was real old of you.
But realistically, that's how because like I say, he'd have been on the force 25 years, so he at least damn near 50.
Yeah, that's true.
So this boy that he fighting out here at 25 in the prime of his life, this how you supposed to get shrugged off. But the only reason why Will out here still fighting with him because Will's still chasing that dream. That I can be in shape. I can still jump off.
And honestly, Will look in the worst shape I've seen him look in a while.
But you supposed to, right? Because you're acting your age. Yeah. You about 50, damn near 50.
I remember when I saw him in I Am Legend. He shredded like a Julian Saturn, boy. You remember Rambo 1? He was small, and then Rambo 2, you Rambo 2.
But how old is I Am Legend, though? I Am Legend's damn near 20 years old.
I Am Legend ain't 20 years.
It's not 20.
Yeah, it can't be that old, is it? It can't be. It can't be 07.
Yeah, at least 15, 13 years.
So
boy, time catch up on you fast, don't it?
you go from 30 to 50 real quick.
Look, God damn. Oh, damn, that's the ball game right there. And I guess that's the ball game for us too.
We don't talk about no new movies.
Nah, man. Well, what do you want to see? What do you seen? We already the only thing I've seen recently.
I want to see the White Man James Bond.
James Bond.
I want to see 1984 with Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
What's that movie we're saying? The Morbius.
That's
the vampire movie.
Yeah. They're trying to put together a Sinister Six, so they debuting to Sinister Six. So to do this, they need to show you who the hell Morbius is, and to show you who Venom is, and then to show you who I think Doc. Let me see who's in. I think Doc Ock is in that shit too.
And I want to see what else I want to see. Shit was just on the tip of my tongue. Tenet with
I halfway. I think I might know.
I can't remember his name, but he was on Ballers with Dwayne Rock Johnson and
I might go to the movies tomorrow.
It was
and see that 1947.
You mean 1917?
Is it
1917 is the movie with the guy from World War II where he trying to find his brother.
Dudes. Yeah. Just the way they say they followed them the entire movie. I just want to see it just for cinematic.
They did a lot of like
I
just want to see it for that.
The trailers make it look like it's actually
hot.
Yeah, it's actually pretty interesting.
Let's see what else. Like I said, for Tenet, I want to see that one because that was done by Christopher Nolan, and it's gonna have that same feel as Inception. And I want to see if Christopher Nolan
is that the one with the black guy that's
with the beard,
it's kind of reversing and going back, but he like a time cop or some shit.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
I want to see that because I want to see if Christopher Nolan can pull off another Inception.
Yeah, I think he got close because the preview looked pretty good.
Yeah, and I want to see.
So we'll see how it
does
develops.
The actual movie live up to that?
I can't find a Sinister Six with freaking with Morbius in it, but I know that mostly it's Venom has been a member. Doc Ock's been a member. Mysterio's been a member. Kraven the Hunter's been a member. Sandman has been a member. So it's basically all of Spider-Man's biggest enemies get together to fuck him up. So that's the plan. They're trying to put together a Sinister Six with Morbius on board. In the comic books, Morbius was a dumbass. I never liked him, and the idea of him getting his own story is like. For me, it would work if Sony still had Spider-Man, but now that he's a part of Marvel,
well, shouldn't it get better though? Can we get one timeline?
Nah. Sony still owns Spider-Man. They just got him with that new agreement for what 2 or 3 more movies. So they still don't own Spider-Man. Okay. Sony still owns Spider-Man.
So it may be good if it can stay in that wheelhouse, but it still won't work because you still have a feel of, I don't know. It depends on if they can take Spider-Man back and pull him out of the Marvel universe. But I think right now that they have entrenched him so deep in there, I don't know if you can pull him out and then the movie doesn't make sense to me.
I don't understand how you can make a Sinister Six and the Spider-Man as he's currently set up can fight them. Like he would need help. He would need some additional help. Like the only way I can see you doing this is if you debut like the Spider-Verse where you had like multiple different Spider-Man show up, like Miles Morales.
What if they took that
Tobey Maguire
that
Spider-Man.
act of where he takes the Venom jumps into Spider-Man.
The Venom symbiote.
Yeah.
That's possible. That's possible. The problem is he hated the Venom symbiote because what happens when the symbiote takes over is you are not in control, not 100%.
Yeah.
The symbiote's in control.
But he's a little better than Brock or whoever it was that took because he is better than Brock because he got bit by that spider, so he got a little more control.
He has a little bit more, and in the comic books, I don't know if they ever touched on the fact that the symbiote was talking to him like the symbiote talks to Brock.
Right.
The symbiote is like, "Hey, nigga, don't do this." But in the comic, when he had it, they never really said the symbiote was like.
I guess it's hard. Is it hard to sell it in the comic though?
What
that extra presence in your head
in the movie? It was awesome. That's my favorite part of the movie. Is that the symbiote was like, "Hey, motherfucker, don't do that.
Yeah,
that's stupid." That's stupid. No, don't do this. And then he would go do that. He's like, you're going to die. And he could like see another symbiote and assess the threat like that. Like, hey, you're going to die. You're going to die. We got to go. You know what I'm saying? That's stuff.
He know his level in the game.
Yeah, he knew his level and he knew he couldn't beat him. And he knew he was a low level symbiote at the beginning. And without him being enhanced with the spider powers, it's just symbiote on symbiote. It didn't make fucking sense. So until he gets spider powers, I don't know. I can't see it being.
And also they would have to age up Spider-Man, I think, a little bit.
I kind of like the Spider-Man. I kind of like that.
Which he should be though. He should. What was he? 16, 15, 16?
Yeah, he's like 16 in these.
Spider-Man. So he should be probably college age when this rolls around, right?
Well, I
just hate Tom Holland.
I think they're setting up a Into the Spider-Verse where they debut Miles Morales and bring in the other older Spider-Mans, because in the Morbius trailer, I don't know if you notice, but they have a murderer picture of Spider-Man, but it's not Tom Holland Spider-Man, it's the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. So it's possible that this Morbius is not even of the same universe as the Tom Holland Spider-Man.
That's supposed to be talking about movies, and y'all when you went on a Spider-Man tangent.
We are talking about movies. We talking about Morbius. I'm a geek. What do you want from me, man?
Okay, let's talk about. I want to see Birds of Prey with Harley Quinn.
We should go see that. I'm interested to see that. I hope it's not bad. It's one of those movies that could be really entertaining, or like this is a goddamn mess. It's a mess.
Oh wow, they actually coming out with another Fast and Furious.
What was it?
Fast and Furious 9.
Yeah,
I forgot what this one was supposed to be about.
Who cares? I don't want to see it.
I don't know.
I mean, the black Superman was
but that wasn't a true Fast and Furious. That was Hobbs and Shaw. So it's weird to me.
Did they create a new villain at the end of that? I felt like they did.
They were debuting Denzel or somebody, wasn't it? They debuted a new villain like at the end of the last one. My favorite other series was 6. I haven't really liked it since 5 and 6. 5 and 6 were entertaining. 6. What was the one where they were on the train and they had to steal the cars off the train?
Huh?
Remember? early in the movie, they were in the desert and they had to get on the train and they got the car off the train. And then at the end, they ended up, the train was reaching they were trying to steal the cars off the train. And at the end, not the end of the movie, but the train was going to go across a bridge. And they ended up riding off the bridge into the water. What was that? It was like 5. It was either 5 or 6.
Is that a Fast and the Furious movie?
Yeah.
You just create your own.
Yeah, I mean, he just.
No.
I don't know,
Which one? How do y'all not remember the Fast and the Furious movie where they tried to snatch these luxury cars off this train, and before they got it off, this is early in the movie. Before they got it off the train was getting ready to go over a bridge, and they ended up like riding the car off the bridge. Of course, they lived because there would be no movie. But whatever one that one was, it was either 5 or 6. I found.
I only remember one time where the cars had parachutes on them and they went for jumping.
Nah. That's not that one. That one
jumped out the helicopter. So I'm trying to figure out how they live by jumping them off the side of a bridge in these cars. You sure that was Fast and Furious or not something else?
I think it was. I want to say it was Fast and Furious 5. I think I'm like 99% because I think it was also at the end of the Fast and the Furious 5. They were driving through the desert through the tunnels. Remember that too?
It's too many Fast and Furious.
I mean, I like all of them at their base level for what they were.
Nah, man, I don't know what happened when they went from being we ride and race and spoof cars to now we're basically fucking superheroes. That's basically what this is. Like it's a basically they superhero movie now.
Yeah, we carrying out espionage for the U.S. government.
Yeah,
and shit. I'm like,
what was the one where they were in Rio, and Rock was the enemy where they were fighting Rock? That was 5, right?
No, 6.
No, that was 5. Because I'm looking at the plot for 5, and it says that the trio escapes Rio de Janeiro.
Wait,
and they arrived in Rio. That was when they were getting chased by the Rock. Fast 5.
Epic desert scene in Fast 5. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. See, early in Fast 5, Vince and other participants on a job to steal 3 cars from a train. While on that movie,
they just doing what they want to do.
Okay,
so yeah, it's Fast 5. That's the one I like. I thought it was a lot for me to say that I like Fast 5, but yeah, that was the one I enjoyed. I haven't liked any of them since then.
To me, they got a little too wonky.
That's it. That's the scene where they pull up with the train.
Okay. To me, they got a little too wonky.
Be honest with you, I don't know why I don't remember this at all.
Because for a little while, they just came out with a bunch of them, and you don't know what the fuck was going on.
Yeah, they came up with a bunch of them, and it's a lot. I haven't watched them in a while. We're going to put it on the next one.
Them boys going to the chip, ain't they?
Yeah, they're going to the chip. I mean, at least they entertaining. I feel bad for Tennessee, but at least the Texans. The Chiefs are a fairly entertaining team. I think if they play the 49ers, they're going to get dusted off. They could beat Green Bay, but I don't know if they could beat the 49ers.
It depends on which defense show up. If the defense that played today show up, yeah, they can. If the defense that has regularly shown up for them shows up, then they get ran the fuck over.
Yeah, the question
they've been playing better lately.
Have another good game.
Basically,
can they have one more good game?
Can they have another good defensive game like they did today? Because they stopped Derrick Henry for 80-some yards this game, 60-something.
Yes.
So if your defense can replicate that.
Well, I think part of it was that they get it wasn't the defense stopping them; it was that they kept scoring.
Oh yeah.
Now you got to stop running the ball because they keep scoring. We
probably should wrap this shit up.
Oh wait, we ain't wrapped it up yet?
No, we was talking. We've been just rambling for the past 5 minutes.
All right, so if you're still listening,
and if you're still listening,
Chiefs going to the Super Bowl.
Exactly. The Chiefs are going to the Super Bowl.
They just beat Tennessee, and now about to watch again.
Now about to watch Green Bay. So, if you're still listening, subscribe to our Patreon page. Check out buy some of my gear, donate to the cause. We're going to continue giving you dope content. We're going to continue being funny. Ryan going to keep being our political analyst. Jay going to continue being Jay.
That nigga Jay.
Exactly, that nigga Jay. And we're going to continue being who we are, man. Like the cat on Twitter said, I don't know what the hell they doing, but I like it. That's what we're going to keep doing. All right. Peace.